Good morning and happy Friday to everyone who is joining us from different parts of the world. My name is Sobirovs. I'm the managing lawyer at Sobirovs Law Firm. Today, I have selected the most frequently asked question, which is I will announce buying real estate and immigration to Canada. This is, I think, single most frequently asked question in my practice and my team's practice is that people from outside of Canada, when they think of immigration, they usually associated it with buying a property and then immigrating. Okay, so today I want to speak with you. There's no presentation today. It's an open dialogue. You and I will be brainstorming, and I will share with you my thoughts on how you can combine real estate and immigration. Okay. Welcome for those who are joining. Please let me know where you are joining from, who you are, what do you do, and why you're interested in Canada. Because that gives us the material for the future live sessions like this. If you are joining us today for the first time, I will make some housekeeping announcements. First, I'm a practicing lawyer and I have to make this disclaimer. Whatever you hear or learn in these live sessions every Friday is not legal advice, okay? This is general information, the information that may help you to make your best decision whether to come to Canada, which ways to select to come to Canada, what are the options. So we are giving our information for you to make the best decision in your circumstances. That's why this is general information. This cannot be, even if we try hard, this cannot be considered to be legal advice. Legal advice is very specific from lawyer to client, taking into account all the circumstances of that client. Okay, that's why please, this is very serious and this is not a legal advice. Second, because we are broadcasting live on 4 platforms today: YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter at the same time. Live broadcasting can be cut off. Internet speed is variable, so if we get disconnected, please come back to the same uh, platform where you are watching us, and then we will reconnect. Okay, this is live. Today is October 22nd, Friday, and we are with you on each Friday, every Friday at 10:30 a.m. Toronto time. Okay, so these are the housekeeping items. Now let's delve into the topic of buying real estate and immigration to Canada. First, I will share my thoughts. In the second part of our presentation, I will take your questions. For example, I will bring your questions like this. Last time, Dr. Patel was asking, expressing these feelings, and I greet you all from different parts of the world. And I think Mina is joining us from Turkey. I'm fluent in several languages. I speak Turkish. That's why she's writing to me in Turkish. I'm writing from Turkey. Uh, how much this question is very relevant. She's asking how much value should the real estate be so in order to successfully immigrate to Canada. Okay, now this is very relevant. Mina, thank you very much. Hoş geldiniz. Welcome. I'm expressing my gratitude in Turkish. Teşekkür ederim. I will get back to this question. Okay, this is one question. Vijay is from New Delhi. Hi, Vijay. Great to see you again. You're doing business in real estate, VR gaming. That's great. VR gaming centers, restaurant business, and I want to invest and migrate to Toronto with my family. Great question. Thank you very much for this question, Vijay. I will get back to that. So, as you can see, I will take these questions in the second part of my session. So, first, let me share some thoughts about how we can combine immigration and real estate in one bucket. As you may know, there are many countries in the world where you can buy a property, a real estate property, and then immigrate, whether residential or whatever property. Usually it's residential. For example, in Turkey, our guest from Turkey knows, in Turkey, if you buy a real estate, a new real estate, new apartment or new house, newly built house, for 250,000 American dollars, you get the real estate and you get Turkish passport. Okay, the same applies to, let's say, Antigua and Barbuda. Some places like Dominican Republic, or they don't give you the passport, they may give you permanent residence. There are many countries that have these kind of systems or immigration programs where you can buy real estate and become permanent resident or become their citizen. However, I will underline this. This is not the case in Canada. In Canada, so-called passive real estate investment does not qualify you for immigration. Especially this is true, and I will now divide two types of real estate: residential real estate, houses, apartments where you live, and commercial real estate. Residential real estate is passive investment. Okay, Canadian immigration programs as of today, October 2021, there is no real estate immigration program in Canada. However, now let's put residential real estate to one side. Now let's talk about commercial real estate. As you may know now, Vijay from India, he raised a very great topic, and I will put his question here so that I can answer. Now, commercial real estate is a different animal, okay? It's a different subject matter. This is where businesses come together, like offices, workplaces. For example, Vijay is saying VR, virtual reality, gaming centers. It is the place of business. It's not a place of living. The categorization should be very clear. When you buy a commercial real estate, don't just buy it passively. You should create another layer of value. For example, let's take the case of Vijay. If he comes to Canada, he buys a big property, and let's say a structure where he can build his VR gaming center with internet connection, with all the equipment and so on. He can then turn it into business, and then it's an active engagement in the business. Then he can obtain a work permit and further steps towards permanent residency. So the main one message I want to leave you with today is the following: when you buy real estate for immigration purpose, okay, go with commercial real estate and add an additional value on top of just investing. So get a property. For example, I will bring one case scenario. Get a property and establish, we are working at the moment with one of our clients to establish commercial kitchens. What does commercial kitchen means? What does it mean? It means that you build kitchen infrastructure in your property and you rent kitchen stands to different chefs and restaurants where they cook their food because they cannot afford the equipment to establish independently. So they come to your location, you get all the license, you get all fire protection insurances. You build so-called kitchen workspace where people come and cook their food and deliver it. In COVID realities, COVID-19 realities, you know that many restaurants have been suffering. And many chefs were out of work because it's a service industry. It was affected. Restaurants were closed and so on. So there is a tendency, there's a trend now to have commercial kitchens, which, for example, Mr. Yadav, Vijay Yadav owns, let's say, a hypothetical situation. He creates commercial kitchens. He then announces that we have location, licenses, all the protection, equipment. You come and cook and rent space from me, from basically Vijay. And then he gets This is a real business. This is commercial real business. So in that scenario, commercial kitchen scenario, let's say, VJ could come to Canada to operate that entity, commercial kitchen entity, and sub-rent it to different places, to different kitchen owners, maybe commercial chefs. You know that in COVID time, food delivery became very predominant. Food delivery to home. People were not coming to Indian restaurants, Chinese restaurants, Turkish restaurants. They were ordering food. And now the kitchens are invisible. They are at the back front. There's no forefront at the moment. It's challenging. People, should be vaccinated, should be wearing masks, and all the hassles. Now people order food, so you don't need a front end, front display of your restaurant. You could do it at the background, deliver delicious food to your clients. So this trend has been very increasing in that sense, intensifying. Now, the second scenario, now answering the questions, I will take the question and I will try to answer that. VJ, if you are doing investment in real estate and VR gaming centers, restaurant business, and so on, contact us. We can brainstorm. I think if you want to follow your passion in real estate, you need to buy commercial real estate, establish a business on top of it, and then serve the public in Canada. You cannot do passive investment in real estate and then combine it with your immigration goals, okay? In order to make them fit according to Canadian laws, because Canadian laws require you to be actively involved in business management, whether it will be C11 application or any other type of entrepreneurship work permit application, you need to be actively involved, and we can discuss it in more detail. Now, I will go. I have two more case scenarios that I will share, but let me connect those scenarios with the questions that I received. Mina, in the beginning of our session, she was asking that how much real estate investment I should be doing in order to combine it. Now I'm adding the second part, in order to combine it with immigration. Okay, I think there in the law there is no minimum amount. For example, let's compare to other countries. In Antigua and Barbuda, I think you need to invest 400,000 USD to get their passport. In Turkey, I mentioned earlier, you have to invest 250,000 minimum to buy a new real estate. But in Canada, when I discuss business immigration programs, there's no minimums, okay? It should be enough for you to buy the property, to cover operation costs, and realize your business plan that you are trying to do in Canada through commercial real estate ownership. Now, at the beginning, I mentioned I put aside residential real estate. Okay, residential passive investment does not qualify you to any immigration programs. Okay, commercial real estate where you run your business and serve sell goods or sell services, that may qualify you for business immigration, and then may lead you towards permanent immigration, permanent residency application. Okay, Mina, I hope this answers your question. Unfortunately, I cannot answer in Turkish. These sessions every Friday are in English only. If you have specific questions, please consider contacting us at wecare@sobirovs.com. Let me highlight our website. This is where you go, and there's a contact section here. You can contact us using these forms. You can contact us using the email address. Okay, and I highly suggest that you advise you to use instant assessment, where you answer a couple of questions and you get the answer as to which business immigration program you may qualify. And there is also fee calculator to know the estimated cost of your immigration, legal costs related to immigration. Okay, so that's just a quick announcement. All right, let's come back to other questions. So I'm taking questions to connect to a case scenario. Okay, now let me go through the questions. I've received many of those. Thank you very much. Um, Mushtaq, hello, Mushtaq Khan Nazia. Greetings to you. Hello from Dubai. Chic style. Chic styles. Nice to see you again. Um, Mushtaq Khan from Bangalore, India. Hello. We have a success story from Bangalore about of our IT related clients. You can read their success stories on the website. Uche Uchendu. Hi Uche from Nigeria. I hope you're doing fine. Thank you. Now let's get Sheikh Stan's question. Can work permit holder C11 take a mortgage? At what rate it is? I mean, is it the same as PR holder? Okay, that's a great question, and that's a question for financiers. Okay, the banks and mortgage brokers. However, let me try to get as much answer as possible, although I'm not a specialist in this. Okay, when you are a foreigner in Canada and you don't have financial history, probably you can get a mortgage, but if you put a lot of down payment. I heard from mortgage brokers, commercial mortgage brokers, residential mortgage brokers, they require the banks in Canada that are ready to give you some kind of financing, they are ready to finance you if you put around 35% down of that property you want to get financing for. Usually the rates could be higher as compared to locals because you are a foreigner, but it's subject for negotiation. You have tier one, top banks. You have tier two financiers. Top banks may give you less interest rates, but the tier two banks will give you financing, but they want to get more interest rates. Okay, um, I've dealt with commercial financing recently, commercial loan for a business. That business was got financing at a rate of 5 to 6% annually. Okay, 5 to 6%, and they had to put at least 35% down of the project they want financed. Okay, all right. Now, coming back to our question, buying a commercial real estate, creating a business in that commercial real estate, and serving Canadian public, that's something could be done. It can be different variations of that. Okay, it could be, as I said, commercial kitchens, some kind of maybe restaurant, or subleasing to another case scenario, subleasing to in the what they call gig economy participants, which are freelancers. Okay, creating workspaces and renting desks there, or renting time, selling time in that work center, right? This has become predominant in Canada. I know during pandemic, both commercial real estate and residential real estate has been rising in terms of price. And I think if you want to create a workspace for freelancers, that could be a good market. However, you need to do your due diligence and thorough market research. Okay, that's a second project that we are working at the moment. Is we want to get a very for our client. We want to get a very wide space, basically an open concept without any interior design. The client wants to divide it into several desks and workspaces and then rent it out to the general public. You can buy 1 hour time, 2 hour times, or you can even get a dedicated desk for you. So the price is differ from what you want to get. And I think that business plan and financing that the client has will be very eligible for C11 work permit. Okay, now let's get back to questions. Okay. Mushtaq Khan Nazia is saying, I'm in travel and tourism business. I'm also into real estate and construction, and also into agriculture. Just wanted to understand what is possible of passive investment or any possibility of. Um, I Mushtaq, I will be very honest with you. There's no you can do passive investment, but then you should not combine it with immigration. If you want to combine your passive investment and immigration, this is what we are discussing today. That's not possible. For immigration authorities, your passive investment is not a good deal to give you work permit, okay? If you want to say, no, Rahmat, I don't want to go to Canada, I just want to invest in real estate, that's possible too. You can contact us, we can introduce you to business brokers, to basically real estate brokers who may suggest that you invest into this project, that project, or other project without thinking of immigration. But if you think of immigration, then, as I mentioned in the first part of my presentation today, is that you need to combine it with some kind of active business activity. Okay, of course you can hire a manager to run that business, but you have to be involved actively on a day-to-day basis. You don't. I understand you don't have to stay in Canada all the time. You may travel between India and Canada. However, you are actively involved in decision making, in developing the business that you want to do. That's active engagement. Without active engagement, unfortunately, we will not be able to. Your lawyers will not be able to do work permit applications or any similar applications. Okay. Um, all right. Yes, buying commercial real estate investment. Yes, Mushtaq. That's what I'm trying to say. Is the third case scenario that I want to highlight using your question is there are some clients that we deal with. They want to buy an empty land, maybe with a little office, an empty land outside of GTA, outside of big metropolitan areas. They fence that property, maybe build one little office there, and they uh, offer parking services for trailers or parking services for trucks. Trucks and equipment needs to be parked somewhere securely. Not everybody can afford buying a land and fencing the land, putting video surveillance and all other necessary insurances and coverage. So they need to rent a space. I know a friend of mine who's a truck driver. He rents a parking spot in one of the parking yards for $500 per month. So he has a dedicated spot for himself, $500 per month. It's a huge land. There are like hundreds of trucks there, but he can. That business is quite, I would say, profitable. So that's the third scenario that I want to mention, which is almost like passive, because you create a business, you run that business. However, you don't do day-to-day much day-to-day activity, right? You created the system. You may do some online booking of the spot. You may have long-term, short-term parking spot lease, rents, and you should be able to obtain work permit for that, because you are not passively investing, you are actively engaged in that scenario. People store their equipment in that location. People store their valuable assets, for example, construction equipment, safety fences, and all these heavy items which cannot be stored in a single public storage places. Okay, so that could be a good option for you. All right, Muhammad Yusuf. Hello, Muhammad. Nice to see you again. For this route via real estate, what will be the sequence of steps to immigration? Example, buy a property, start the business, then apply for PR. I would add another step, Muhammad, before PR, running the business you on a work permit, and then PR. So buy property. When you buy before buying property, you did market research, you prepared your own business plan, you made your own due diligence, and you bought the property. You established the business. You did what is necessary to kickstart your business. For example, if you have to fence put a fence around your property, you did that. You obtained insurance policies. You hired someone to be on the property, for example, your security or a guy who will be handling the property. And then you also obtained your own work permit under C11, for example, and then run the business for at least 1 year, and then if you qualify for permanent residency under certain PR applications, depends on which PR program you are trying to target, and then you apply for PR. So there's multiple steps in that scenario. Okay. Right. And now, yeah, those people, there are some comments when they say, I don't know English. Unfortunately, Friday sessions are only in English. You may join us on other platforms about our um, different languages. We speak Russian, we speak Uzbek, we speak Turkish, and sometimes we speak Chinese. So uh, depends on your preference. You can write us in different languages. We will do our best to understand you. However, Friday sessions are only in English. Thanks for understanding. Hi from Dubai. Thank you very much for joining, Ali. Okay. Um, yes, this live session is on specific topic. Okay, buying real estate and combining your investment goals with your immigration goals. So these two things, we want to bring them together. It's an open discussion. Yes. About work permit, yes, you can ask, but however, I would suggest that either you go see our previous YouTube videos. Maybe we have already answered your questions. If it relates to business immigration, you can ask right away. Vijay is asking another question. If I invest 5 million to $1 to $5 million in business in Ontario, how Ontario government will help to small businessmen, any subsidy or tax benefits? That's a great topic, Vijay. First of all, I'm not a tax advisor. However, Ontario government has its own. If you focus on Ontario government has its own Ontario Immigrant Nominee Program, ONP. Talk to us. Tell us more about your business plan, and we will try to direct you to the correct path. In terms of small business, I think all the governmental incentives depends on the region. For example, if you create something related to IT in Kitchener and Waterloo, there are certain grants, there are certain financial incentives. I will put a link. I will put a link to available governmental grants that you may see. It depends on industry, on location, and what you're trying to do. Incentives are a lot, but most of them, they are in terms of soft landing. Okay, you as a foreign business want to come to Canada, to Ontario, there's a soft landing help, assistance for you, but you shouldn't be very hopeful about huge financing opportunities and so on in the first 3 years of your activities. The first 3 years is to prove that you are a viable business. Once you prove that, I think there are many financial incentives and assistance which will be open for you in the next, after the first 3 years. If you produce something in Canada, so-called a Canadian product, then you want to export it. There's an Export Canada credits, Export Canada support, Export Development Canada. It's called EDC. Export Development Canada will help you with insurance, will help you with negotiating the deals, will help you probably to get into the new market as a Canadian brand. Okay, these are the incentives that you may look into. However, not much you can expect in the first couple of years of your activity in Canada. Okay, I will leave a link under this video for those who are interested in those kind of for specific to Ontario. Okay, specific to Ontario. Kotling Indus is asking, is it better to get a visitor visa first and after visiting and come back and then apply for immigration? I'm a businessman what will be the best suitable way to get immigration? Thank you for your question. I will answer as a true lawyer. It depends. If you are thinking of federal business immigration programs, you don't have to come and visit Canada first. You can do it right away. Apply for entrepreneurship work permit. Second, if you are targeting provincial nominee program, there are provincial business immigration programs. Most of them, if not all of them, they require you to do an exploratory visit to Canada first and then apply for their PNP programs. So it depends. That's the best answer I can get. Write to us, contact us. We may guide you depending on your situation and plans. We may guide you to the right path in terms of which business immigration program you should pursue. Now, however, if you are an international business owner, from a practical perspective, I think it's very prudent to come to Canada to see the market, because as a businessman, you look at the market differently. I, as a lawyer, may suggest you something based on my experience. However, you, as a business owner who does the business every day, you may see different opportunities when you come to Canada. Okay, because you have your own professional eye, professional outlook. If you have an opportunity to come, I think it's a prudent decision to come and visit Canada, and then maybe make your big step investment. But again, we have dealt with our clients on many occasions without them coming to Canada. We handle everything on their behalf. Okay. All right. Unfortunately, I will not be able to answer the questions that are not related to the topic of business immigration. Many people are asking personal immigration questions about diploma evaluation and other things. I apologize. I will focus only on business immigration. Kotlink is adding another statement. I have reasonable assets and can prove that I want to do business in Canada. Yes, then if you have strong background, financial and professional, I think you don't have to come to Canada. If you talk to us, we may suggest the most suitable business immigration program. You can go to our website. And use this instant free assessment. Answer a couple of questions. For example, do business or do both, and answer some questions. You will get a very high level assessment, and you can contact us for more details. Okay. I think that's the best step for you to take at the moment. Thank you for active participation, everyone. I received many questions. We are discussing today this topic: buying real estate and immigration to Canada. How you can combine two things in one place. Whether you can do your investment goal, because many people, 90% of our clients, they love investing into real estate. Okay, especially in Southeast Asia, Asian cultures, they love real tangible property. Okay, I have many clients from Vietnam and surrounding countries. They love real estate. They want to buy land. They want to buy something residential. However, it's okay to buy it, but when it comes to combining it to achieve your immigration goal, that requires a very good strategy. Okay. All right. There are many questions. I will get to all of them, I hope. Now, Muhammad Yusuf, if you mentioned about the office, if a business can be run online from home, a consultancy, does having a virtual address qualify as a legitimate address for IRCC related matters? That's a great question, and I tried to answer that last time, I think, online during our live session. Immigration Canada is more, how to say, more willing to consider you seriously if you have a real office. Virtual office does not increase your chances. In fact, it decreases your chances. Okay. you need to have a physical establishment, even if it's a one-room office. Okay, one room, you need to have a physical. And of course, it's also depends on the arguments that you put forward. You don't. I know some import-export businessmen who run the whole uh, operations from one room. Okay, that's realistic. However, there's more tangible items other than office. If you're purely virtual in all sense of that word, then I don't think you have a good chance. You may try, but the risks will be high. Okay, virtual address for the beginning could work. For example, if you have an established company in your home country and you're trying to establish your presence in Canada, virtual starting with virtual office, but you need to show that you will have a real office in a very short time. That could work sometime, but all depends on your business project overall. Okay, if you are doing, let's say, drop shipping, right, Amazon drop shipping, you don't need an office. However, that drop shipping business project may not be really appreciated by the IRCC. Okay, because you don't have to, you need to understand, you the decision of IRCC and your application should be reasonable. If to do an online business in Canada, you don't have to be in Canada, then IRCC will say, why do you want to be in Canada? Okay, that's the dialogue you need to have with yourself. If your business can be run from outside of Canada without your presence in Canada, then you don't have to be in Canada. Okay, if that's the another flip the argument and say, no, my business requires me to be in Canada, then there's an argument on your benefit for in that application. All right. Good morning from Kuwait. Hello, Suresh. Good morning to you too. Oh, good evening to you. All right. Now, Muhammad Yusuf, thank you very much. On the question that Suraj, if one keep traveling between Canada and home country, yet active for Canadian business, can he be eligible for PR after 1 year? Stay in Canada might be 2 3 months only. That's a great question. That's a great question. Now, let me dissect your question. Can he be eligible for PR? Part of your question is when your company is active for 1 year and gives you a job offer that increases your point. Okay. Before that job offer is coming in, you may be traveling back and forth. That's the nature of your business. That's okay. The eligibility comes when you are on the PR stage. Okay, you need to increase your points, but before that, you can be traveling back and forth 2 and 3 months only. I would say you should spend more time in Canada to be on the safe side. But I understand the nature of the business can be so that you have to travel, very frequently. Intra-company transfer and C11 business immigration programs, they don't require you to be physically present in Canada all the time. Canadian government is reasonable enough to understand that your business requires you frequent traveling. That's okay. And I think in your scenario, it could work. But again, we need to see the details of, the devil is in the details, right? We need to see the details of your project. All right. The questions, Dawlet Aliyev is asking, is standardized language test required during immigration process when business people buy property and start a business? Example could be a businessman with their own executives and agents. No, you don't have to prove your English with a standardized test, but if you do, that's a benefit for you. However, if for business immigration, the language is not that priority as opposed to other PR applications. Okay, so the language is should be enough for you to run a business in Canada. You need to prove that, whether it's through standard tests or whether it's through your background, okay, your education, your business dealings, and so on. Okay, it's not a requirement, but it's great to have a standard test, even if it's old, expired. Canadian government, Canadian authorities want to know the viability of you running the business or those executive agents running the business. That would be my answer for the business immigration. All right. Vishal is asking, can a father transfer funds in the applicant's account to show availability of funds? Vishal, you need to clarify this question. Uh, does your question relate to express entry and other proof of funds required document, applications? If that's the case, the proof of funds should be proven by several months of bank statements. Okay, it's not just you putting some money to your daughter's account today and then that proves proof of fund. Depends whether it's a student visa application, whether it's a PR application, whether it's your business immigration application. So the analysis varies from application to application. um, Okay, good morning. Good morning, Paresh Kumar Chovatia. Hello, I hope you're doing fine. Okay, for the purposes of C11 or C12. Okay, that's then the analysis is, can a father transfer funds? So you the applicant, I think availability of funds needs to be proven with a source of funds. Okay, in that scenario, it is very strange when somebody doesn't have money and suddenly it has the money just before the application. So you need to have a history of that fund, how you obtained it, in order to strengthen your case. If by father putting money just before the application is a very risky endeavor. Okay, that's what I would do. And I would suggest that you do that you take that route in order to prove your funds. If you really have if the applicant has funds, he probably has the history of those funds too. Okay. Sarita is asking, if we started business in Canada, how long it will take to get a PR? That's a great question. The soonest your business can help you to get a PR by increasing your points, the soonest time period is 1 year at least, because you have to prove that your business is viable, it's not bankrupt, it's selling goods or services, and it has enough funds for operations and to cover your salaries depending on the job offer that your company gives you to support your PR application. So please understand that work permit and running the business is a parallel to PR, getting ready for PR. That's two independent and independent applications and independent streams, so to say. You cannot you cannot you may use your company in the future if you are running successfully and you don't have enough points for your express entry. That's a legal pathway. However, just running the business in Canada doesn't qualify you to PR. Okay, that's what I'm trying to say. Many people sometimes simplify the process. They say, okay, run your business and you get PR. No, there are a lot of preconditions between running the business and becoming a PR. Okay, so that requires good strategy and following each milestone correctly. All right, Muzaffaruz Rahman is asking, I want to visit Canada next month. How many days I need to register? I need to register. How many days I need to register at my company as intra-company transfer? Also, I have a business idea. If you want to process also for startup visa together, it's possible. Is it possible? Mr. Rahman, first, you don't have to be in Canada to open a business, a corporation in Canada. Your lawyers may help you with that. But if you come to Canada, that's great because you will go and visit the bank branch to open a corporate bank account. That makes it easier. Your lawyers can open corporate bank account without you being in Canada, but if you are in Canada, that makes things easier. Okay. Yes, you can do two applications at the same time, two independent applications. One is ICT work permit. The second one is startup visa application. You can do it. How many days it will take to open a company and open a bank account? I think it will take around 7 to 10 days maximum. In our practice, we open corporations and help them open corporate bank accounts within 10 days. Okay, this is our practice. But if you are in Canada, that could be a bit faster, a couple of days faster than that. All right. Vijay is asking a question about his friend. Okay. One of my good friends having very good net worth, and he's doing business in India, and he wants to invest and immigrate to Canada, but he is 50 years old and his education is only 10th standard eligible. Okay, I think he has just a high school education, right? And he's not. Yeah, there are possibilities for him to do either provincial immigration or PNP business immigration or federal immigrations if he has, I think, good English. I think it could be a good way. But usually, business immigration applications, they don't require you a very high education. They don't require you to be an MBA, okay, or a PhD. You can still do business immigration, both provincial and federal business immigration programs, even if you have high school diploma. Okay. Yes, I just mentioned, Vishal. Yes, your company may have a bank account, a corporate bank account, before coming to Canada. That's a possibility, and we do it all the time. Uh, there are certain requirements that banks have in terms of, identification of the owners of the company, and regarding the anti-money laundering clearances and all the KYC and due diligence. But yes, you can open before coming to Canada. Yeah. Okay. Mr. Rahman is asking a question. Do I need to take my office at the time of company registration, as I will stay only 10 to 15 days? So company's registered office could be your lawyer's office or any other virtual office address. It depends what kind of company you will open, whether it's a federal company or a provincial company. It depends. You don't have to have a physical office at the time of opening your company, but you have to have a registered office for the legal purposes. Okay. 10-15 days is more than enough to create a company and open a bank account. All right, I think today's topic was very useful. I hope. And just a reminder, we were discussing buying real estate and combining it with immigration to Canada. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube. We have a lot of useful videos. And send us your questions, and join us every Friday at 10:30 a.m. and we'll be happy to discuss another interesting topic with you. I wish you a very pleasant weekend. Stay safe and see you in Canada soon. Bye bye.